The Cavrnus Spatial Connector allows a single user application to be turned into a multi-user persistent experience. I'm going to use the web console to create a new space. I'm going to invite 2 users. Now in the web console, I'm going to hop into the session analyzer. Let's log into Cavrnus in one of the configurator windows. You can see this space has been added to the list and I can join that space. You'll notice that the web console now shows my connection. Let's connect the second user to the same space. You can see that user is connected as well. I'm using the configurator's interface to change the paint color and wheel appearance. You'll notice that both users see the changes made to the Audi. This is done through the Cavrnus property system. When a change is made in the simulation, the property is sent to the Cavrnus journal. These changes are recorded in the database and sent to all connected users. If you want to see a list of all changes made to the Cavrnus space, we can use the live journal. If you remember, I changed the paint color first. That's represented by this entry. I then clicked on the interface to go to the wheels. This is the change in our camera positions for both users. And then this is the change to the wheel appearance. The journal is a history of all changes made to the space since it was created. You can see these other entries here that represent the user's locations. You notice that on the left, they also have a T. This represents that these values are actually transient and only stored while users are connected to the session. Let's take a look at the Properties panel. The Properties panel provides an easy-to-understand summary of the current values of the properties in the space and allows editing of those properties from a browser. You can see there are 2 entries here, Audi Configurator and Users. If we click the Users container, you can see there are 2 users with properties in the Cavrnus space. The string of characters is their connection ID and represents their unique connection to the space. If I pick one of them, you can see the user has a transform property representing their location in the space. In the case of the configurator, the user's location properties are read-only, so altering them here will do nothing, but you can see them change when I change my position in the scene. Let's take a look at the Audi Configurator container. We see a list of all properties that have changed in the space under the Audi Configurator container. These are the live values of the properties, and we can change them here and see the changes reflected real-time in the running simulation. If I change the values in one of the simulations, you will see it changed here. You can see the properties for the pane as a string in the Properties panel. The Audi Configurator example uses the Variant Manager, and the variants and variant settings have been connected to Cavrnus properties. So if I want to change the paint color, I can type one of the named variants. If I add new variants to this Unreal Engine project, they would be available in Synchronized as well. As I make more changes in the simulation, property values are sent to the Cavrnus space and show up here. These values are persistent, and any user connected to the space can receive the current values of all Cavrnus properties. So when a user joins the space again at a later time, the current state of the space will be reflected in the configurator. By default in the simulation, changing the location of the camera will change the position for all users. I can disable other users affecting my position with the camera icon. Cavrnus supports user copresence, and in this case, you can see the other user's camera in the space. As the user moves around, their position is reflected in the space for all connected users. Commercial menu is also available, and it triggers a commercial for all connected users. These changes can also be made through the Properties panel in the web. In the current simulation, the changes made by the commercial sequence are not added to the journal, and stopping the commercial or going back to the configurator retrieves the current journal settings and updates the Audi. That's all for the demonstration of the Cavrnus Spatial Connector with Unreal Engine. For more information, see www.cavrnus.com.